become irresistible. I would say that in the UK now, 75-80% of people know something seriously wrong with these vaccines. The take-up of the vaccines and the latest round of boosters is extremely low. Even last autumn, so a year ago, only a third of NHS staff or National Health Service were willing to take the autumn booster at that time. So the science is out there. I've managed to, after having a group of international experts, mostly from the United States, so David Martin, Robert Malone, Ryan Cole, Pierre Corey, Professor Angus Dalgleish from the UK, and Steve Kirsch, you're going to hear from later, all in a committee room in Parliament. I managed to get 20 MPs to attend on the 4th of December, and as a result of that, I got 17 MPs to support my calls for another debate, a longer debate on excess deaths. And we will have that debate in January, and the resistance is growing now in the UK, and we're moving towards a general election. It's almost certain we're going to have a general election on the 2nd of May, and the nearer we get to a general election, the more important the voice of the people is to politicians. There is a saying that when the people are scared of the politicians, it's tyranny, and when the politicians are scared of the people, that's democracy. Well, we are moving to the latter, and the nearer we move to a general election, the more scared of the people the politicians will be, and rightly. What we've seen is the biggest crime against humanity in history. It's been perpetrated across the world, and all the protections for the public have let down the public. The symbol of our parliament is a portcullis. That's the last defence of the castle, the defence of justice and democracy. And I don't mind manning the walls to defend the castle, but all the arrows that have hit me have been in my back, which tells me that the keeper's already fallen, unfortunately. And we need to take back control of our democracy, and that's going to come from the ground up. If you're looking at the UK Parliament to come to the rescue of the people, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I don't think it's going to be happening. In fact, I think the last place to admit what's being done and is being done, continues to be done to the people, is actually the UK Parliament. But the people are waking up very quickly, and I think we're going to have a few surprises at the general election, because it isn't a general election where there's a race between the Labour Party and the Conservative Party for government. It's not a race between the blue team and the red team to the finishing line. It's actually a relay race where the baton will be handed over from the blue team to the red team, and on all the major issues, the things that are plaguing the lives of our citizens, it will all remain, sadly, the same, probably with Labour government with a majority, realising that it actually is a situation where we have a union party in the United Kingdom.
We're listening to the voice of Andrew Bridget, so-called
democracy. The illusion of choice, and I'm afraid our current democracies have let the people down badly. I applaud Barry for his courage in releasing the New Zealand data, government data that all governments hold, and that could all be released. If the vaccines are safe and effective, then release the record level data for every country, and let's demonstrate that. The fact is that they will not release that data because the data would be damning. And also there must be many more people in many different countries who are privy to the information that Barry was privy to, and he released and did the right thing, and I'd encourage them to come forward as well and do what is the right thing for them to do, the right thing for their families, and the right thing for wider society. It is amazing how all the agencies set to protect the public, whether it's the health regulators, our politicians, our hospital administrators, have let down the public. The usurpation of our democracies has been disappointingly complete. if there is any encouragement, it is that the other side, the globalists who've organised this if it's a game of poker, and it is a high-stakes game of poker for the future of humanity, it is a game of poker where the other side, for the first time ever, are all in, all their chips are on the table, and we're all in as well. But the next 12 months, what a time to be alive, because things cannot continue as they are, and we're either going to be in a very, very dark place, or we're going to turn the corner and have a chance to build a new society, something better and more honest than we had before. So it is a great time to be alive, and we're all here to play our part in shaping the future and deciding who wins that game of poker at the end. And quite honestly, I'm not satisfied to ever lose, because there's too much at stake to lose. And I think we are many and they are very, very few. They may be powerful, but we have the numbers, and our numbers are growing. So I applaud what's happened in New Zealand with Barry's release of record level data from the government, and I implore civil servants and those in the know to come out and speak out. It's interesting that all of us who've spoken out have faced the same attacks. We're cancelled in the media, we're shunned by our colleagues. But, as whatever Winston Churchill said once, that the truth, you can criticise it, you can ridicule it, but ultimately it's always there. It is the truth. There is nothing going to come out in the science that's going to say the vaccines are safe and effective after all. The evidence is only ever moving one way, and there's more than enough evidence out there now for any who wish to see. So as we come towards the end of 2023, I'm actually quite optimistic for 2024. I think it's the year when we're going to get this sorted. I'm not saying it's going to be sorted quickly, and I think it's going to be a bumpy ride for all of us. The forces we're facing, they're not going to relinquish their power lightly or easily, but ultimately all we have to say is no, that we won't comply with their plans, and that we will resist. And ultimately sovereignty lies with the people, and they're the people that I'm set to serve. Thank you very much for listening to me.